folks, welcome to another Triple T Thursday. For those just joining us, that's Tools, Tips, and Talk. We will discuss info for the knife maker. In today's episode, we're going to start a new series, a new folding knife series, but not a regular folding knife. We're going to be doing a Balisong knife. So my first attempt at one of these, and I'm going to bring you guys along. So let's go take a look. My son Parker has been bugging me for going on 4 years to make a Balisong knife, and I've finally decided to take on the challenge. So we're going to be making one of these, but first I figure we better talk about them and the different aspects of Balisong knives that make them different. So first, if you're not aware, a Balisong knife or a butterfly knife has these channels, these open areas for the blade to fit into, and you can flip it open and show the blade. They have pivots, so both handles pivot on the blade. And of course it can be flipped over, and the coolness is being able to flip this thing open and close and do all kinds of tricks with it. So let's talk about the different varieties. So first, this is a what's considered a channel construction, meaning that this is a solid piece. The handle's a solid piece with a channel milled into it, which the blade will fit into. Handles can be stainless steel, aluminum, or even titanium. This one is very similar. This one is, I'm pretty sure, is aluminum, also a channel construction. Where these two differ is in the blades and the lockup. So you'll see that this one has a little pin here. These are referred to as tang pins. And this pin will cause the handles to stop, right? They hit this pin, and that's what, makes the blade straight with the handle and kind of locks it in place. I don't like this construction, and this is really I think is considered the older construction. These wear a lot. You need a kind of a recessed area for the pin to go, which wears. You can see some wear in this one already. And I think they're just a little more difficult to seat that pin, and just overall not as fine of a construction. What's more common, or in the expensive knives, is what's called Zen pins. And this is where there's a hardened pin in the handles here, which stops against this peak in the tang, and that will cause it to lock into place. So really it's the reverse. Instead of a pin here and it's stopping against the pin stops against the tang. So it's a pretty simple construction otherwise. This one has pivots, so a pivot barrel through here. It's got washers, and there's a bushing inside, and I'm going to take this apart and show you guys. And then these are just barrels with pins, with screws on either side. So let's take it apart, and we'll show you what makes this thing tick. All right, I've got this guy apart. Let's go over it a little bit. So first thing is the blade. We've got this shape, but it's got bushings. So these are little bushings that just sit in there with friction. And I measured these, and these are a 1/4 inch outer diameter and 3/16 inner diameter. So I went and bought precision bushings that are that size. Next, we have pivots, and these are just regular 3/16 pivots. I just went and got these sex bolts, which is pretty much exactly the same, and these will shine up just like these. These are stainless steel. I got some pivot heads that will match these. And then we have some stop pins. So these are 1/8 inch stop pins with little screws, and they came this way. And then, of course, 3/16 inner diameter bushings. And these are, I think they're 15 thou thick. So we have all of the pieces that we need. Next is what are we going to make the blade out of? So I think I'm just going to make this out of some AEBL just to start with. So for the handles, we're going to be using this. This is titanium. This is grade 5, so 6AL V4 titanium. It's 3/4 thick, really because where I got it at Sack and Metals, that's all they had. They were out of the 5/8, which I would have got. But we're going to end up milling these down, and we're going to be using the curve on this as a feature in the handles anyway. So we got everything we need. Let's go up to the office and do some designs. I'm here in Knife Print and I'm ready to do the design. I've already taken a picture, a top-down picture of the blade and one of the handles that I can use as reference. And now I'm going to just bring in that image so that I can trace it. All right, so there's our image. So now I'm just going to go and trace lines around this using the different tools to make the arcs, and I'll probably speed this up for you guys. So I've got this design. You'll notice that I drew the knife only half of it, and that's because I'm going to use the mirror function. Okay, so I've rejoined the two halves together here. I've got my pivot holes. Now I'm going to do a different shape for the blade here. I've added some layers and I've put the handles on different layers. Reason being is I want to be able to pivot those handles and make sure that the pivot ends in the right spot. There's also some subtle things about these knives that are important. There is a space between the ends of the handles that should be a gap that should be about 1/4 inch when it's open and the same when it's closed. So now if I pivot the handle right until the point where it closes, and the other one right till the point where it closes, it should be about 1/4 inch. Yeah, like 0.2, depending on where I select here. Yeah, 0.25 exactly. So that's pretty good. And again, if I open them, go this way, and it should stop right at the point of the handle. Again, this looks like about the same distance. So I'm happy with my design now of where the handles, where the pivots on the handles are, where the stop pins on the handles are, and then this little concavity on the blade, which will stop the pin, and this arc here. So I'm ready to export the knife and print these out on the laser. I'm calling this the Wobbegong. Just sounds like a cool shark name for this model. All right, so I've got the DXF file. Let's go over to the laser, print it out. Well, that's the end for this week, folks. I'm actually waiting for some 1/4 inch reamers in order to do the pivot holes, which I don't have. So we got to stop for this week, but stay tuned for the rest of the series and we'll finish off this Balisong knife.